Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone. Happy Thursday, guys. A little thirsty Thursday. Guys, there's no way to go around this. So we got to start with Myles Garrett. But before we do, I ask you guys every day because I care about you guys. How are you doing today?
I had a great day so far today.
Did you have to think about that for a second?
Well, I was waiting to see if Nick had thoughts remote first, but yeah.
Jack, you answer this question first every day, so just take it, man.
Okay, so I'll answer it first today then. Ryan, I said it to you as I left today. There was ice on the ground. I don't know about the east side, but all the west side of Cleveland had school off today because of the ice storm from last night. So took a little bit slower on the way in today. Turned on some Gunna, got the mentals right, and here we are, ready to go.
Ooh, what Gunna were you listening to?
We had On One Tonight for a little bit. I think that probably carried the car ride in terms of vibes. Cash Cow as well, if you remember that one from back in the day. And then Blank You Mean was also in there.
What you mean? What's up, Nick?
What's up, guys? We got to have a day today. I know we talked a little bit about pre-show. We got to pick the vibes up today. The boys got a big day. We're going to Cleveland Sports Awards tonight, meeting up with the man Reflog, Gabriella Cruz, do some content at Sports Awards. So we got a long day. We got to buckle in. We got to lock in. It's going to be a long day.
Oh, I mean, we're going Oscar to Charlie today. We're going eight to eight at a minimum. So let's lock in here, have fun, and ID the mic. Starts right there.
IDing the mic, that is crucial if you're on offense as the quarterback, of course. Speaking of awards, guys, it's all about awards for Myles Garrett. Money is one thing, but at the end of the day, it's the legacy, it's the winners, it's the champions that get remembered. And Myles Garrett made that pretty clear, guys, yesterday on his little radio road trip as we're getting set here for Super Bowl 59, just days away. The Rich Eisen show, I think everybody in Cleveland has seen that clip. One of the quotes, quote, "I just don't think the trajectory of the team for having success in the near future, I don't think we're aligned currently." It kind of led to my opinions and my feelings in this moment. I feel like at this point in my career, I want to have more postseason success. I want the opportunity to do at least to go out there and compete and contend. I don't think that's possible where we are now. Myles, I don't either, brother. I don't either. I don't blame you one bit. And I think if you're mad at Myles Garrett for doing the media rounds, quite frankly, I think you're a moron. Actually, before I elaborate, guys, is either of you mad at Myles Garrett? I don't want to call you guys a moron.
I don't know if I'm mad at Myles Garrett, but I definitely don't appreciate the way he's going about it right now. I think that if you want to be considered a leader at the same time, I know the Super Bowl is the most important thing to him. Like a big part of winning a Super Bowl or getting there consistently with a good franchise is being a good leader. And other teams see the way you act too. They see that you go around, do all the radio shows while you're still under contract, talking about as if you're not even with the Browns anymore. And for a guy who hit someone else on the head, had some issues, had that whole car crash thing, I think people also like to forget a little bit that he really did cool off towards the end of that Flacco season as well. For a guy who's had a couple of his own issues in his career, I wouldn't do it personally.
Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at him, I'm not mad, I'm upset, but I understand. That's what, I tweeted out Monday when the news broke, and I'm going to say this on Big Play Cleveland next Monday. I said that it was the most stunning day in franchise history. It was the most stunning day, but not the most shocking day, because nobody was shocked. Nobody was surprised. It was just that we were stunned that the, 8-year veteran, the number one overall pick wanted to be done in Cleveland. And it's not shocking at all because we kind of knew that he was been upset. This is something that wasn't created in a vacuum. And I think doing these interviews kind of lets fans into his insight that this is something that's been percolating for a while. And I think quarterback is the biggest issue and the biggest gripe that he has, and rightfully so with the Browns right now. I mean, they've wasted the last 3 years of his career putzing around with the Deshaun Watson trade. So I'm not mad at him. I'm upset, because it stinks that I think ultimately, despite the Browns trying to play hardball, and I get the people that are out there saying that this isn't the NBA. Myles is under contract for 2 more years. The Browns hold the cards. Yeah, Clutch Sports Group might have something else to say about that. And he was sure to mention in every single interview that he hopes it doesn't get to that point, but he has cards that he could play later down the road, kind of i.e. holding out come training camp. And if you're the Browns, is that something that you really want? Another distraction? Or are we really signing up for? So I think they ultimately probably rip the Band-Aid off and trade him before the draft.
Jack, you brought up how other teams are watching him on these radio shows, and the reason that doesn't matter, they don't care, is because it's Myles Garrett. right? He's the best defensive player in football. I know you might think a little bit different. We can get into that, but at the end of the day, he's one of the most dominant players, if not in the NFL right now. He can go say anything he wants. A team's going to go out and trade for him. A competitive team's going to pay him regardless because he's Myles Garrett. I don't think that factors into it.
Yeah, if I'm Andrew Berry, whoever is the worst team in the NFL that will give me 2 first-round picks for him, that's who's getting him.
Well, then there's a talk. Do you do what's best for your franchise? Do you accumulate some of Myles' wants and needs to go to a competitor?
Screw him. He wants out. He's under contract. No, you trade him to the worst team imaginable, and you get your best picks possible.
You know, and at this point too, like the Browns have done everything right. You know, we totally talked about it a couple of days on the show. Like they let Odell Beckham Jr. walk out of his contract and walk, you know, to sign with the Rams in Bitcoin, and that deal made him a ton of money. You know, they got rid of Baker Mayfield to his preferred destination in the Carolina Panthers, and that trade took months to pull off, and it was for a couple of day 3 draft picks. They've done right by everyone. It's time for them as an organization. And this is, you know, a strategic, you know, thing that they need to do here. They need to do what's right for them. They need to get the most out of Myles Garrett. This is your biggest bullet right now. You know, Andrew Berry is going to be the general manager that made the worst trade in NFL history for Deshaun Watson, especially when you factor in the $230 million fully guaranteed, and also is going to be the GM that traded away the Cleveland Browns' best player since 1999. You better make sure that it's the right move.
The reason to me you can't get mad at Myles one bit is I tried to come up with the perfect analogy, and this is what I stumbled upon. Let me know what you think, right? It's you get in your first relationship, and Myles' first relationship in the NFL was the Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns are a toxic first lover. They're a Oompa Loompa fat chick, and you're way out of their league, but you're dating them because it's your first relationship, and that's all you knew. You finally get the nerves, you break up with them, you realize your value. Now you're on Tinder, you're on Hinge, Bumble, flirting it up with all the baddies, talking to all the radio hosts, that's the dating apps. And now he's allowed to go out there and see what he can get. And the ultimate sexy chick would be a Detroit Lions. It'd be, right now, possibly a Washington Commanders, right? I can't blame Myles one bit. It's the Browns and their ineptitude, their incapability to just be anything of a functional capable franchise, guys. And he was here for 8 years. This wasn't something like he gave it 4 years. He didn't sign a second contract and dipped right away. No, he was here when he started going 0-17. He's been here for the little bit of a high he had, the playoff win, the playoff appearance, and he realizes that's not going to cut it. He's better than the Browns. And I'm sorry, guys, right now he is better than the Browns.
I think it's a great analogy that you made, Ryan, but I think you have to add into the analogy that after the dating stage, Myles and this fat chick known as the Cleveland Browns actually got married, and there's a ring on it, and that ring is here for at least 2 more years. So if you're going to go through with the divorce process, if you're the chick or the Browns, whoever, you go out there and take what you can get too.
I don't know, dude. It's like you cheated on him with the sexual predator and Deshaun Watson. You don't got to wait out. You got to get moving now.
Well, I don't feel bad for Myles, though.
Yeah, I don't feel bad either. No.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's going to wind up his NFL career, whether it's in Cleveland, you know, whether they find some miracle way, which I think that the odds of that decrease by the day to work this out, or ultimately somewhere else. You know, he's going to get Clutch Sports a massive payday out of this. He had a different agent and a different representation when he got that first deal with the Cleveland Browns. So Myles Garrett is going to do just all right for Myles Garrett financially. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer if this career trajectory continues. Even if it doesn't, he's going to wind himself up in the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame anyhow. So I don't really find myself feeling that bad for Myles. Like now I truly believe it's on the Browns to do what's best for them as an organization strategically. And that's selling him off to the highest bidder. That's tripping this thing down to the studs and starting the rebuild today. You know, I know we'll probably get to it. Denzel Ward was the latest on Radio Row late last night saying that he's not sure what his future would be. And he just kind of repeatedly said throughout the interview, you know, I love playing in Cleveland. I love playing in Cleveland. I don't want to say anything rash. I don't want to make any decisions right now. I want to play with Myles Garrett, you know, so these guys are like begging and imploring this guy to stay because he knows how much, you know, they know how much Myles Garrett means to the organization. So it's a mess right now. Like there's no other way to spin that.
Nick, I got some breaking news for you real quick coming out of the college football world. Ryan Day and Ohio State have agreed to a new contract through 2031 $12.5 million a year for Coach Day, the new national champion.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, are we shocked? I mean, good for Ryan
no.
Day, a guy who people wanted him out of Columbus. The second you lost to Michigan, he rallies them, gets in the national championship. Of course, you're going to sign him to an extension. And I'm glad that he is able to put all of that bullshit behind him, and now he doesn't have to worry about his future. Good for Ryan Day.
Yeah, good for him. Seven more? Good for it. That's a lot of years.
And will he see
Gotta
that
beat
whole
Michigan,
contract?
though.
And will he see that whole contract through? There's a good chance he doesn't.
Probably not. Yeah.
Probably not. I want to play this quick 45-second clip from Myles Garrett on the Rich Eisen show. I want you to pay attention to Myles Garrett's face when Rich Eisen basically asks him, is there a way, what if the Browns come to you and say, well, listen, we have a plan, we need you for it. Here's Myles Garrett's reaction.
What if question, but what if the Browns say no? We want you to stay. We want you to be part of this thing. We do believe in the plan that we have. We do believe that this plan will work. We do need you to help this plan work, and you do have 2 years left. Like, what if that happens, Myles?
I mean, it's possible. No, they could do that, but no, that's a little bit further down the line. I'm willing to look. I know things have changed, night by night, and I'm sure people are calling and hopefully making some tempting offers. But I'm grateful for my opportunity, and I know that recently. No one stuck to one team, seeing Luka. So
Myles knows ball, brings up the Luka trade. He hit the dad face.
That's an all-time deflection too, by the way.
He hit that face that dad makes when he's next to his son on the news. Just try not to absolutely laugh because he knows there's no plan that the Browns could have that would keep Myles here, money aside. It's a foregone conclusion, I think, that Myles will, unless the Browns refuse to trade him, he won't be a Cleveland Brown for much longer. Talking about where he's going to go next, the Commanders got brought up. I don't know, guys. I mean, we don't necessarily have to dive into where he's going to go. I don't know. Any just quick thoughts from you guys about a potential suitor?
I'm stubborn. I'd sit him in the skybox.
I have a couple thoughts on that clip. Really the whole Radio Row experience, he seems dug in. Like, I think we could officially put to sleep some of the conspiracies that were out there that maybe, he was just doing this for a paycheck. Maybe he, wasn't really serious about no, like Myles Garrett is dug in. He is done in Cleveland. And then number two, I'm surprised that between Rich Eisen, Mina Kimes, and I think like Gerald McCoy interviewed him for Sports Illustrated or something like that, nobody asked him the follow-up that I have, and that's the most pressing. And that's, Myles, is there anything that can be done to change your mind? Instead of trying to dive into, well, what happened in that meeting? What was the plan? Is it that there's going to be a veteran quarterback like a Kirk Cousins or a Daniel Jones? Is it that they're drafting a rookie quarterback at number 2? Like, what part of the plan don't you trust? Instead, flip that question on its head. And Myles, is there anything that the Browns can do to change your mind here? And I feel like he would probably have some sort of workout answer for that. But it's stunning to me that 3 sit-down feature-length interviews, and that was the question that I had that I feel is most pressing, and it was just not asked.
It sounds like an invitation to come on the Big Factor to Myles Garrett.
Guys, I don't think it takes a Texas State football graduate. We've talked about their GPA. It doesn't take a genius. They'd understand that there's no way Myles is going to change his mind. Like, even if you were in a situation, you had the number 1 overall pick like last year, and you had this God's gift to earth in what Caleb Williams was supposed to be, he's not sticking around. The odds of that working out in the next 1 to 2 years, he understands, are so minimal. He's already taken a chance with the Cleveland Browns in a way, and it's just not going to happen. He wants to move on. He wants to find a team he can compete with, and I think we've seen Myles Garrett play the last snap for our Cleveland Browns.
I agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
I really do. I think, like, and he, the one thing that he did elaborate on in every single interview was that this wasn't a decision that he took lightly. I know everybody was throwing the stuff out there about LeBron James. Like, I mean, this is a guy that's thought about this for some time. We heard him at the end of the season speak publicly to the media after practice, after games, that he wanted to meet with the team. And then that meeting happened. He went away for a little while. He really thought about this. I agree. I think Myles Garrett's done in Cleveland. Like, I think they absolutely have to move him. And I know right now a lot of the traditional Browns media is covering this and saying, they don't have to because of the contract and because of the cap space and some of the things that go along with it. But But at this point, like, you know, the statement was damning enough. I saw yesterday, everybody is posting like, this is about to get ugly, isn't it? Like, I think we're already pretty ugly, you know, between the statement that threw a quote from the general manager back into his face and then 3 sit-down feature-length interviews on Radio Row. Like, I think we're quickly approaching the point of ugly. Like, that's the way I would describe it.
And if we lose Denzel too, man, I mean, that would just be
you might as well. What's the point?
I'd be sick. That one, guys, I'd be sick about.
But we're all in agreement. It's the right thing to do, just to trade Denzel as well, right?
Assuming that you're a million percent. I mean, I would trade anyone who has any substance of value over 25 years old at that point if you're trading Myles.
I can't say that. I would. I'd leave that up to Denzel. I think similarly to Myles, you know, if Denzel didn't want to be in Cleveland, okay, what's the old Mike Tomlin quote? You know, I would rather have volunteers than mercenaries. I'm not going to force Denzel Ward to play in Cleveland. But I think there's something to be said that if Denzel does want to stick around, you need at least a veteran. You know, you need at least some semblance of leadership or a guy that could help these young draft picks, you know, that the Browns have 10 of along and show them the ropes through whatever this rebuild's going to look like. Like, I think there's something to be said that you need somebody to stick around through this thing.
Nick, we got Juan Thornhill. He can lead the locker room. He can teach those young guys how to play ball.
Yeah.
I think he's also played his last game as a member of the Cleveland Browns. And that one is, there's no trade request needed. That's because I can't tell you one play that Juan Thornhill's made over the last 2 seasons. And he's made a ton of money over those last 2 seasons.
Source, TikTok Live.
Yeah. And in regards to Denzel Ward, there's not going to be nearly the attraction like there is for Myles Garrett. So that's also a factor.
I think somebody would give.
No, somebody will. But at the end of the day, it's not a Myles Garrett. It's an aging cornerback with a concussion history. It's not going to be nearly the hype
no first
of
round pick,
Garrett.
Right?
No.
A second though.
No.
I think if you say that this was something that, like, say they went about this in what my opinion would be the wrong way, and they let this bleed through the draft, they let this bleed into training camp, and they hold on to Myles and Denzel Ward. I think maybe with Denzel, you could hold on to him at the deadline, and you could get a contending team to get desperate and give you like the Detroit Lions, who are going to have, the 29th or 30th pick, or like a team like Buffalo, that's going to either be in the Super Bowl or one game away from the Super Bowl. I think you could scam like a super late first out of Denzel. You just got to play those cards right. You got to hope for an injury somewhere. Like, you would need a little luck.
Hope that he stays healthy for the first 8 games or whatever is until the trade deadline too.
All right, no Denzel slander on this show. I'm not taking that.
That one I would be sick about.
Well, Myles Garrett wants a new team. That's clear. A lot of NBA players got a new team just in the last 24 hours. Expect more of that. I believe it's 3 p.m. Eastern time. The NBA trade deadline ends. We're going to talk about the moves that have already happened and what might be coming later today. We'll talk about that and more when we come back here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan, Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone. We're brought to you today and, of course, every day by our great friends at Fairway Ford Ohio. Fairway Ford Ohio is the biggest Ford truck dealership in the state. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s as well as Super Duty trucks, and I promise you they will not be beat on price by any other Ford dealers. Do not let a short drive to Canfield, Ohio prevent you from saving thousands. Yes, that's thousands of dollars on your new truck. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, lowest pricing, and the same hometown level of service. Visit fairwayfordohio.com, fairwayfordohio.com. All right, guys, the NBA trade deadline just literally hours away. 5'6". I can't do math. Ignore that. But the biggest news yesterday, Jimmy Butler finally gets moved from the Heat. He's joining Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and co. in the Bay. Immediately after the trade, Shams reported that the Warriors and Butler have agreed to a 2-year, $111 million contract extension that runs through the 26-27 season. Heat get in return Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, PJ Tucker, and a 2025 first-round pick. Jazz getting Dennis Schroeder, and the Pistons receive Lindy Walters, Josh Richardson. Guys, instant reaction to this trade. I don't love it. I think you're paying a lot of money for a 35-year-old who is far from outside of his prime. Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, the Warriors are the 10 seed. That's my immediate thoughts. Like, they need Jimmy Butler to come in and be playoff Jimmy, bubble Jimmy, Jimmy buckets, whatever nickname you want to give Jimmy Butler when he's playing well. That's the version of Jimmy Butler that the Golden State Warriors are going to need, because right now you're currently the 10 seed in the Western Conference. We talked about it on yesterday's show. You've got Stephen Curry, who's playing not his best basketball by any stretch. And again, he's on the wrong side of 30. You've got Draymond Green as the other member of that big three, if you want to call it that. And the Warriors aren't getting any younger. Not to mention, right after this trade goes down, Jimmy Butler's handed a 2-year, $121 million contract extension. The Warriors are not embracing any sort of rebuild. They're telling you they want to pretend that they're going to be contenders in the Western Conference as long as Stephen Curry is in a Golden State uniform. I wasn't surprised that one went down because there was a lot of smoke around it. But do I think that's the right move for Golden State? No, I think Miami won this trade. Strip this thing down to the studs. Be in the horse race for Cooper Flag if you can, and get a first round pick and a couple nice younger pieces along the way. I think Miami came out just all right here.
If it was for Kevin Durant, maybe I'd understand. I think he would give you a much better chance of going to get your 5th ring than a guy like Jimmy Butler does. It's Nick, you've said it before. They refuse to be bad, refuse to embrace the rebuild. I guess I'm full of analogies today. It's like you're a high schooler in your prime, right? And you had this wonderful career. What am I talking about? Wonderful high school life. You get out of college, you're like in your mid-20s, and you just can't get out of high school. You try and buy something fancy, a new Harley to make it look like you're still young and hip, but at the end of the day, you're just wasting your money. You're not going to get back to what you were.
And everybody knows you bought that thing off Craigslist.
Yeah, a Temu Higgins motorbike. Just, you got to at some point embrace that Steph Curry probably isn't going to win another ring, at least if it's with the Warriors. Draymond Green isn't that good in the first place. And bring in an aging superstar, I use that term lightly, not anymore, and Jimmy Butler. It doesn't make sense to me. I think you're bargaining your future for right now, and your odds of winning right now are still super low.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trade that's going to change the landscape of the NBA one way or another. I mean, I'm very curious to see how, what are their names, Lindy Waters and Josh Richardson come off the Pistons bench.
That was a TikToker.
Yeah. We'll see how they can change the league around. But no, seriously, it's a weird trade, like you guys said. But there is also a lot of playoff pedigree with that group. I know they're older. I know that their bones creak a little bit more than they used to. But I do think there's a chance that the Warriors could maybe do something to play in, get in as a 7 seed and lose in 6, but it's a really fun lose in 6 in the first round where they win game 1 and everyone's like, oh, how do we doubt the 10-time All-Stars? But
yeah,
I will say
I can see that too.
Yeah, that's you can see that, right? Like Jimmy Butler drops 40 in game 1. Everyone's like, how do we let Steve Kerr get all these guys? But no,
playoff Jimmy.
Yeah, playoff Jimmy buckets. But I do think that Lindy Waters will be huge for the Pistons down the stretch.
Yes.
How about this, man? Playing in the NBA is just the American dream. I don't know if you guys knew this, but that was my dream when I was a little kid. When I was in 4th or 5th grade, my dream was to play in the NBA. I thought I was league bound for sure. Like I'm sure a lot of little kids do, but if I could do it all over again, I love Cam, but dude, you find a tall woman and try your hardest, because think about this. Jimmy Butler was able to go into his boss's office, multi-billionaire and Pat Riley, and tell him, yeah, I'm done working. Got 6 weeks of paid time off, 6 weeks of not having to work. Gets traded to a new company who gives him $121 million raise. And now he gets exactly what he wants: a change of scenery, some time off, and a massive, massive payday. Raise your kids to play in the NBA.
And you're not, you're leaving Miami, yes, but you're going to the Bay. You're not going somewhere to freeze and your career to die off.
It's so nice. Like,
Guys,
raise your kids to play basketball.
There are two sides to every single coin, and I think we're looking at one side pretty hard here. But I got to turn it back to my man, Dennis Schroeder here. Just 2 days ago, Dennis Schroeder called the NBA trade deadline modern slavery because you could get moved wherever, maybe to places you don't like. You're out and up from your family. And how do they treat poor Dennis just a day after this? They ship his ass off to Provo, Utah.
Yeah, I don't.
Was the guy wrong? I mean, they sent him to Utah for nothing?
Yeah, I mean, that is quite the comparison. I don't remember slaves ever getting millions of dollars to play a kid's game, but that's, I suppose, how he feels.
Well, you never had to live in Utah, so.
That's true.
That's also true.
That's also very true. I don't know. Maybe I'd adopt the Mormon mentality and have like 6 wives.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
What Kyle?
Yeah, but the trade-off there is that you can't even drink like a lemonade.
Yeah, that is true.
No technology. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing here.
Did you guys not to get like way too far off topic as we are sitting on the NBA trade deadline, but as we are speaking of the Mormons and Utah and specifically Provo, are you guys aware of what soaking is? Because I found out about this like 2 to 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yes, Jack. We're not. Yeah, we're not talking about it.
That's a crazy concept. I'll leave it on that. But I think that's insane.
Yeah. Look up bed shakers next. That's how soakers get around that loophole.
Okay.
Everything has a loophole.
Yeah.
Other trades around the NBA: Kings getting Jonas Valanciunas. Wizards receive.
Whoa! I've never heard of that.
City Sissoko. And 2 future first-round picks. Daniel Tice goes to OKC. Mavericks get Caleb Martin from the 76ers. Hornets swap picks with the Thunder. And then obviously this one broke a little bit earlier. We didn't really talk about it much, but De'Aaron Fox, of course, teaming up with Wemby and the Spurs. DeAndre Hunter, we'll end this segment on this. Will he get moved? The Cavs are reportedly the front runner for that one. They've been connected to him for a few years now. I don't think it's going to happen. I wouldn't be shocked if it did. I don't know what it would take to give up, but I think he'd be a great addition to the Cavaliers.
Yeah, the last time that Kobe Altman made a move at like the actual deadline on deadline day, like President Donald Trump was just leaving office the first time, it was the start of Joe Biden's presidency. So it's been a minute since we've seen Kobe get active at the trade deadline, but this is a move that would fill a massive need. The thing that's to be talked about delicately, I guess, with these Cleveland Cavaliers is that people feel very opinionated. People are very attached. You can't trade Karis LeVert. That's my third favorite Cavalier. You can't trade Max Strus. What do you mean? That's a guy that they gave up a lot for 3 years ago. Like, if they want DeAndre Hunter, somebody's going to be on the move. But like, it's not just going to be George Niang and a couple second-round picks, like a smaller move. Like, somebody's getting traded. But cool to see that the Cavs were technically front runners for that. And I'll say, like, I hope that happens by the deadline today. I think that fills a legitimate need. They've been after DeAndre Hunter for years. So if you can swing that, man, go for it.
And fuck them picks.
I wonder if that Celtics game happening so near the deadline influences at all, if you saw any deficiencies in the lineup that you think you could add and have a chance to beat the Celtics. I will say this, if they don't get DeAndre Hunter, I would like them, in all seriousness, to find a way to get under the luxury tax and buy out a guy like Ben Simmons. I'm serious. I think
Simmons would be cool. I saw Lonzo Ball just got extended, so you could cross him off the wish list. Ben Simmons is out there.
I mean,
Mo Bamba. I'm going to keep throwing out Mo Bamba too.
Really? Is that possible?
Yeah.
How nice would it be to have a guy like Ben Simmons who can guard 1 through 4? I mean, and obviously he's not going to guard Kristaps, but for instance, like against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, DeAndre Hunter would be the better. He can do it both ways. But Ben Simmons is an elite defender, and I think that would go a long ways in the postseason. All right, we got to take another break. When we get back, MLB salary cap, maybe, probably not, but some owners want it. We'll talk about that and more when we get back here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome back into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone. Well, some owners in the MLB, they want a salary cap because they feel the way we do, guys. It's getting kind of ridiculous when you look at teams like the Dodgers, the Yankees, even the Mets, the New York teams, the big markets is the way I'll put it, of being able to spend all this money, making it hard for our lowly, poor Guardians to ever truly hoist up that World Series trophy. Jack, what's the latest on this story?
Yeah, so the Orioles GM and the Mets GM actually, too, said that it would be smart to put in a salary cap, which is a bit odd considering the Mets just went out and signed Juan Soto for about $10 billion, I believe it was. You got to think there's some other owners who'd be down with this as well. Assumptions make an ass out of you and me, but I'd like to think that Paul Dolan probably would put his John Hancock next to this one. Guys, the issue is they probably wouldn't be able to play the sport for about 7 seasons if they tried to figure out a salary cap. But I do like that it's being brought up at least. What are your guys' thoughts on it even being presented at the table?
First of all, would it be worth it? 7 years without baseball to fix it?
Honestly, yeah.
You think so?
Maybe, dude.
Could you go? Could you survive 7 years without Major League Baseball?
I mean, yeah, I think at this point, yeah. But, I mean, realistically, 7 years, no. But I think you would miss a season. Maybe even creeping into a second isn't crazy. But, yeah, I mean, it would kill the whole fan. I mean, look at COVID when we almost had the salaries prorated and the players freaked out, and that almost took away that whole entire season. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be really weird either way. But I like that it's being brought up because at least now we have a chance for something like this to happen. So maybe, just maybe, us or our grandkids will see the Cleveland Guardians win a World Series.
No, dude, there were like the COVID thing. There was like vitriol in the streets over 10 games. They couldn't get a deal done arguing over like 10 games. So yeah, it would be interesting though. Like, say it did take some time off. Like something else they were talking about during the NBA lockout years back. Like, could that make like a new baseball league? More or less. Like you would have live baseball for a season and a half or 2 years.
That'd be sick.
Or
it'd be weird.
Or it'd just be replacement players, and Will Brennan could stay on the Guards for the next 5 years.
I wonder if, man, you really don't like Will Brennan. I wonder if they would ever be able to implement this, and I don't think you would have to have this severe 7-year drought like you talk about with the salary floor. What about a salary cap? What about a salary floor? Call out the poor owners in the MLB. Say this is a big baller league. You got to get your bucks up, and that's not our fault.
I do think it would help. I just think it would help a lot more to have a salary cap
Paul
versus
Dolan
a salary
just shit
floor.
His shorts when I said
He did, and so did Bob Nutting. And by the way, real quick, while we're on the topic of Bob Nutting, if we could get a round of applause, I would like to congratulate the Pittsburgh Pirates on making an off-season move. Tommy Pham, you are a Pittsburgh Pirate. After not being able to negotiate with an 11-year-old, the Pirates went out and got the 45th best outfielder in free agency this year. So good for them. Maybe they're on the ups, but yeah, I think a salary floor would be cool. Where would you put it at? Like 85, or are you pushing over 100?
I don't think there's any teams under 85, is there?
Oh, God, I don't think the Pirates are close to 85 million.
Well,
I'll do some research.
No, don't look at the screen. Oh, Jack,
here's the one.
Got it?
Pittsburgh, don't look, Jack, because I'm going to do a trivia thing for you. Pittsburgh Pirates are at 84 million. They're second last. Okay. Oakland's at 62 million.
Sacramento.
So there's only 2 teams below 85 million, Jack. But the trivia that I wanted to ask you was, can you give me the top, we'll do 10 most expensive payrolls in Major League Baseball?
The number or the team?
The total payroll.
But are you asking me for the team or the money?
The team. You don't have to tell me what the money is.
Okay.
Most
top
10 expensive.
So we're going to rip the Dodgers up there right away.
Dodgers are number 5.
Phillies are in there?
Phillies are 4.
Okay. You got to think the Yankees are in there?
Yankees are 2.
You got to think the Mets are in there?
Number 1.
Okay. You got to think the Blue Jays are in there somewhere?
Number 8.
Okay. So what are we at?
Number 9.
How many do I have so far? I got 5, but which ones do I have?
I think you need 3 more.
Weirdly, man, this might be a crazy...
No, you need 4 more.
This might be a crazy thought out of me. The Tigers are paying Javi Baez an awful lot of money. Could they be sneaking in there?
No, they're not.
Okay. The Angels might still be off money.
You're missing a big one.
A big one? Braves?
Yes.
Okay.
2 more. Wait, 3 more. Because you're missing a big one.
Another big one?
Yeah.
Well, what's the breakdown on leagues for this, AL versus NL?
2 more AL.
2 more AL? Red Sox?
Hurt 12.
Shit. Orioles wouldn't be on there. Rays are definitely not on there. Central, it's not the Twins, is it? They can't be in
you're
there.
missing Texas.
Oh, that was
the Cubs, and you didn't. Did you say the Astros?
No, I didn't say the Astros.
And the Astros.
Okay, not bad though. Not bad.
For those wanting to know, our poor little Guardians, they come in at 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 23.
Hey, not bad.
105 million.
Not bad. 7 worse.
Yeah, I guess it could be worse.
Yeah. And here's my fear with the floor, though. Like, what if that just incentivized even more? So, like, well, if everybody's got to spend $100 million, let's just say, like, and I'm the New York Yankees or I'm the LA Dodgers, like, I'm gonna spend $500 million, like, because I'm gonna 5 times what the competition has to be at the baseline.
Yeah, it's just sad because as much as we like to think, you get the Guardians going to the ALDS, the ALCS every now and then, and it's nice and it calms us down as fans. But at the end of the day, when you see them go against these teams, the Yankees just last year, right? You just realize, is it really all that close? Is it really all that competitive? I don't think so either.
I mean, we barely maybe coulda, shoulda our way through 5 games against the Yankees. I understand we blew some leads, but it took all of that just to win 1 game. They went and got their butts kicked in by the Dodgers. But, Nick, you just made me think of a great point I never thought of about the salary cap floor before. There actually is a chance that the salary cap floor could even out the sport a bit more, because I do think if you look at the Pirates or the Guardians of the world, it might not come from the outside, like outsourcing, going to get big free agents, but you might see a big uptick in teams re-signing their own talent. Like, if you look at the Guardians and they have to get to $120 million, Lindor probably never leaves in the first place because you hit him with a nice deal after year like 3 to get him like 6 or 7 years. Quan would be back for sure. Bieber would have never even gotten to free agency for half a second. I like your idea. I do think the floor would help, actually.
All right, well, we got to take one more break. When we get back, we're going over fun Super Bowl prop bets. I got some pulled up for you here. We're also going to vote what we would give at the Greater Cleveland Sports Awards. Their 25th anniversary is today, and we'll actually be there. So shout out to them. I think they're doing a live broadcast. You can always tune in, even remotely. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, it's time to make some money. Welcome back to The Big Factor. Ryan, Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone. You can go ahead, have fun betting on your spreads, your over-unders, your totals, your passing, rushing stats. No, that's not what we do here. We're going over the fun prop bets. We're going to make some money here, guys. I want to start with this one. Actually, before I do this, do you guys usually bet fun prop ones for the Super Bowl?
No.
Never?
I used to, like, back before sports betting was legal, and I was big on my offshore sports book, like my Bovada grind, where I was
Bovada.
like, transferring Bitcoin out of Cash App to my Bovada account. Like, I definitely bet, like, yes, that Snoop Dogg would light a joint on stage at the Super Bowl halftime, and he didn't.
All right, well, we'll start here. National anthem prop. This is one every single year. John Baptiste is going to sing the national anthem this year. The over-under is at 120.5 seconds. The under would be plus 114, so they expect it to go a little over 121 seconds. Baptiste did the 2017 NBA All-Star Game. He's saying the national anthem. It was right around 120 seconds, so that's where they're getting that line from. He did it at the U.S. Open in 2017. He was easily under 120, but here's the wrinkle. If he adds instruments, he plays the piano. If he adds a guitar, we could get some sort of riff. How you guys feeling over-under for the national anthem?
Yeah, I was actually good. I didn't even read that article, but I was going to say that if Stay Human accompanied John Baptiste, and I did think it was going to go over. So if he brings his band Stay Human out, I'm going to take the over.
And I'll go opposite. I'll go under. I feel like a lot of these performers are like hip to the fact that this goes on. So I'll go with under.
All right, before I reveal the list, what do you guys think will be the first song played for Kendrick Lamar in this year's halftime show?
All the Stars.
Is that the one with SZA?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Or
They're going to wait to bring her out,
in
though.
SZA?
No, I think he brings her out the start, and the surprise is Lil Wayne about halfway through.
Wow, that'd be sweet.
That would be sick.
I saw the script.
I'd go with Mad City first.
Oh, that would go so hard.
That would go so hard.
The odds are -155, the heavy favorite, Humble. They do like to start with a song that everybody knows.
I like that.
Not Like Us is +200. Squabble Up +300. Swimming Pools +600. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe 700. Money Trees, absolute banger, +800. So you written in the or all the stars. That's
I might have to bet on that.
That's +6,600.
Dude, because think about
Mad City's +4,000.
Think about it though. If he starts with her on the stage, that will be the song. So I think that's a great value bet.
He won't start with her on the stage, though.
No, because Lil Wayne is coming out at halftime. They want to trick you. They want to trick you that he's not going to come in his hometown.
But wasn't Lil Wayne a little bitter they selected Kendrick over him as the headliner?
Because they're playing it all up in the public. So when he comes out and you hear the lighter flick, everyone in that city is going to go nuts.
That would be something.
Including me at home.
That would be something. All right. Tom Brady's tie color. Blue plus.
What was Mad City? I need Mad City odds. Is that not even listed?
Yeah, no, I said it's +4,000.
All right.
Nick, I think we write out ours there.
Rigor Mortis is also +6,600. The Blacker the Berry +6,600. Other ones, King Kunta,
Freestyle.
+2,000. United in Grief +2,000. That'll be interesting to see. Guys, Tom Brady's tie color has a prop. Blue is leading the way with +175. We need to go back and research all the broadcasts and see if he has a pattern. Yellow and pink, green, and black are all +1,200. Any intuition about Mr. Brady's tie color?
Man, I hate taking the favorite, but before I even saw the list of the options, I would have gone blue too. I was thinking avoid red, avoid green at all costs, and blue's a pretty neutral color. So I do hate to say it, but I think blue or gray leading the way makes some sense. But I do want to point out on that list right there, we have no tie, business casual at +320. And if you're feeling interesting on Sunday, I'd take that back.
I didn't even see that there. No tie. Does
little business casual?
No way TB12 goes casual at his Super Bowl.
Bro, that's kind of a swagged out move though now. Like that's what I'm doing at Sports Awards tonight. I'm going jacket, no tie.
How about this though? This is actually some good information if you're going to bet this. It says Brady probably isn't leaning into gray or silver because it would evoke, I don't know if that's the right word they wanted to use. Oh, I guess it technically would.
No, yeah, that's right.
It would evoke his Raiders minority ownership, so he might not be allowed to wear gray silver. And then also it says red and green are out because it would be the colors of the teams playing. Huh.
It's got to be blue.
That's interesting. All right, I want to find some other ones. I don't want to do the typical ones that everyone's betting.
Gatorade color.
Let me find another site.
I saw purple is the big leader for that.
Party prop bets. Let's go. Gatorade bath color. What are you guys thinking? Clear/water/orange.
I'm taking
are
green,
the top
baby.
3 there. That's always a fun one to do. Taylor Swift Super Bowl props. Ooh, let's see this. Will Travis propose to Taylor Swift after the game? They're saying that he won't. How many times will we see Taylor Swift on screen after kickoff?
Oh, 45,632, I think, is the leader in the
Will Taylor Swift appear with Kendrick Lamar during a Super Bowl halftime show? No way.
What's that? What? At least give me the odds on that.
I don't know if they have.
They don't have odds.
I don't know if they have posted odds. I don't know why not.
Damn it,
Who will be sitting next to Taylor Swift?
I was going to Kevin Malone that. If anybody ever gives you 40-1 odds on anything, you take it.
Will a Super Bowl MVP mention Taylor Swift in his speech?
No. Unless it's Travis.
Will we see a touchdown or a Taylor Swift live shot first? Taylor Swift.
Yeah, definitely Taylor Swift.
Will we see Taylor Swift or Jason Kelce more?
Taylor Swift. We might see Taylor Swift more than Freddie.
That's
Patrick
a sneaky
Mahomes.
one. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Well, we're going to take one more break. When we get back, we're going to wrap it up real quick. We're going over what we would give for the awards for the 25th Greater Cleveland Sports Awards. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll be back right after this. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Big Factor here in the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone. The 25th Greater Cleveland Sports Awards are tonight at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. We will be there. They're going to be handing out awards. All right, let's give our picks. Jack, you wanted to start with this one, actually. The nominees for the 2024. Excuse me, you got to change that back to the odds. Male High School Athlete of the Year presented by University Hospitals. Jack, we got Marquise Davis, Cleveland Heights High School football. Quinn Woidke, St. Ignatius High School. Marcus Johnson, Garfield High School basketball. Jack, I already know who you're going to vote for. It's St. Ignatius.
Absolutely giving it to Q on this one. Guy's going to be a golden flash around this time next year. He's going to turn that program around. Give me Quinn Woidke to start off this list and be the Male High School Athlete of the Year.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you a literal single thing about these athletes. I apologize, but I don't know anything. Nick, do you?
Marcus Johnson, man, pride of Garfield Heights, the Bulldogs.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you have ties there.
The last of the Sonny Johnson legacy, and coaching legacy, had Michi roll through there, had a great college career. Now Marcus, Sonny Jr. as well, having a nice college career. So yeah, give me Marcus Johnson from my hometown Bulldogs.
Who do we have for female high school athlete of the year?
It's between Grace Kingery, North Ridgeville High School basketball.
Go
Riley
Rangers.
LaVogue, that's a sick last name. Bay Village High School lacrosse. And Annabelle Grooms, St. Joseph Academy volleyball.
Got to be Annabelle Grooms. On the corner of Rocky River Drive and Lorraine Road over there in West Park, Ohio, they know how to play their volleyball.
I'll go with LaVogue because I like that last name.
And I was gonna just give Bay Village a shout out. So shout out Bay Village.
We go to college now. Male Collegiate Athlete of the Year. Joey Marusik, Baldwin Wallace baseball. Harold Fannin Jr., Bowling Green State University. He'll be getting drafted. And Luke Shoshone, John Carroll University basketball. Jack, who do you want to win?
Chacon's a dog. Don't get me wrong. He's a good ball player. I think he actually had a season-ending injury, so got to feel bad for the kid. But Joey Marusik, the other one too, actually went to John Carroll and transferred to BW for baseball. But it's got to be Harold Fannin Jr. I mean, that guy is going to have a great NFL career, and he led the Falcons. Ziggy.
Hey, bro, I got him in a few mocks to our Cleveland Browns. I would have
won that. Yeah, that's a Pro Football Network mock draft simulator darling, Harold Fannin Jr.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, Browns fans would be lit about that pick. I almost went to Bowling Green, so yeah, that's my pick for male college athlete for sure.
All right, well, here's a category I know a little bit more about the finalists. We got Cleveland Professional Athlete of the Year presented by KeyBank, Jose Ramirez, Donovan Mitchell, and Katie Moon, and Denzel Ward. I take it back. Guys, I got to give it to Katie Moon. She's been on our show. Not our show, but our network. How could I not?
Dude, I feel like, too, like Jose Ramirez, Cleveland legend. Denzel Ward, also Cleveland legend. The Olympics is a completely different beat. Like, to be an Olympic medalist, a two-time now Olympic medalist, like, that doesn't happen on accident, especially that you only get that one every 4 years. So, like, you've got to give this to Katie. Like, this kind of was a poverty year for Cleveland sports outside the guards. So maybe Jose has an outside chance, but I'm giving it to Katie all the way.
I mean, I absolutely hate to be Kanye West of the 2009 VMAs right now. Katie Moon, I'm really happy for you, and I'm going to let you finish. I mean, a gold medalist, a silver medalist, one of the greatest athletes to ever come out of Cleveland, Ohio. With that being said, though, I mean, Jose Ramirez, man. I mean, damn near had was it 30-30? Or no, it was damn near a 40-40. Yeah, I mean, so close to doing that.
One double and home run short.
Unlike Myles Garrett, he buckled down his feet in Cleveland, Ohio after a couple of rough seasons and decided to pen ink to paper for a long time. Bro, Athlete of the Year.
All right, well, we'll find out the winners tonight. And we can talk about it tomorrow. Tomorrow also, obviously, Super Bowl. We got to give our picks and all that and more. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Today's episode of The Big Factor. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone. Huge shout out to Garage Beer. Huge shout out to Fairway Ford. And huge shout out to the Greater Cleveland Sports Awards. I'm looking forward to it tonight. Stick around, everybody. Same time tomorrow, same people. Peace out.